Hey community, today we're going to be talking about how do you fit more in. You know, sometimes as I'm consulting with businesses or I'm just talking to friends and family, people around the place, they often ask, as nice people normally do, so tell us about your life, George. I then start with this little spiel. I'm married, we have 5 children, and normally I'm met with a shock. Oh, you have 5 children. You've heard of contraception, right? Have you worked out how to stop that? I then go on and I say, I run a business called The Community Co. I consult with businesses and public speakers. I'm developing an app with a friend of mine. I work with a non-profit organization, and occasionally I like to go to the gym. The next thing people inevitably do is say, how do you fit that in? So I decided one time to just sit down and work out, how do I fit all this into my world? How do I make it happen? Would you like to know how I make it happen? First thing I want you to do is to go back a few episodes and watch an episode called I Don't Have Time To. That episode will give you an indication on the values and the ethos on how I run my life in regards to certain questions that I ask that allow me to prioritize and put things in the proper place. I've actually learned how to change the narrative. I've actually learned how to change the story of my life to achieve what I want to achieve. Now, after you've watched that video, here are some tips. Here are some practical apps. Literally, I use my phone to help me run my life. Here are some apps that I use that help me do exactly that. One of the first apps I use is called Evernote, or anything you have that's equivalent, where you're able to put all of your information, passwords, ideas, imaginations, dreams, photos of things that you need to come back to, projects that you're starting on, things that you can put into one location and pick up from any device and start to work on again. That's helped me take a lot out of my mind and put down into one place that I can always revisit, always go back to, not having to just carve out 3 hours of a day to do one thing, but I can go back if I'm waiting in line somewhere and an idea pops up, straight into Evernote. The next thing I do is I use the Google Suite. Use the G Suite, people. The G Suite is amazing. Documents, emails, everything is just incredible. If I'm working on one particular document and I need Pedzi, my business partner, to collaborate, how I just share it with him and he's collaborating at the same time. I'm seeing what he's doing, he's seeing what I'm doing. It's incredible. It's a great collaborative tool. I realize that I text a lot. Actually, I text probably a little too much. I find that texting saves me a lot of time. It saves me the ability to get to a person, the information I need to, and then go and do something else waiting for a reply. But also, what I've got with the people that I talk to a lot is I ask them to get on an app called Voxer. And what we do is like voice message to voice message, where I can sometimes text messaging doesn't give you the ability to put tone and inflection in your content in text. Whereas with Voxer, I can send a voice message and they're hearing exactly how I'm feeling or thinking about a particular subject. The other app I use very effectively is the app called Reminders. Anything that I have to do, someone gives me a phone call and says, can you send this to me? Can you lock down this date? Would you mind texting me this information? George, can you go and get milk, bread, cheese, butter? Normally that's a text from my wife about what I need to do and get right now. I don't command it to memory. I put it in Reminders and I lock in the time. Right at 4 o'clock, I'm gonna be driving past the store or somewhere around there and I lock it in. And here's what I love about the app Reminders. It comes up on my screen every time I turn it on until I actually press go away. And by the way, let me tell you why that's really important to write things down. Because the less you have up here, the more you're able to fit, the more you're able to do. And the less you feel stressed and busy, that ridiculous word called busy. I am so busy. Well, get the things that, you know what, let me just tell you this. There's been times where I've sat with people who've said, I am so busy, and I've asked them to take down what's in their head and put it down on paper. And when they've written down the busy life that they have, it's 5 little items. But because they're rattling around in their brain all day, every day, and the details of it, they feel like they're overwhelmed. So I don't do that to myself. I make sure as soon as I need to do something, I put it down in Reminders and it reminds me when it needs to. Finally, here's another key for you. I turn off all my phone notifications. Yeah, I do. Every single one. I don't want my emails telling me when I have to read them. I don't want Instagram and social media and Facebook telling me when I have to look at it. You know how many times I've sat with people And every Instagram like and Facebook like that they get, and every post that's done up, bing, 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 like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And in 20 minutes of sitting with someone, they can look at their phone 15 times. You know how distracting that is? You know how much it takes for you to reset your mind from the distraction of looking down on your phone? So this is what I tell my social media world, my emails. I come to you when I'm ready. I come get the information off you when I want it, not when you tell me to do it. So how do you make time for your family and your kids and your wife and all these other things? It's called time management. I put the big rocks into my diary first, then I put all the smaller things in later. Big rocks, what are they for you? For me, it's my wife, my children, my spirituality, my health, then everything else goes in. Work out what yours are, put them in your diary. Well, that's it from me today. It's been great doing this episode with you. I really hope it helps you for your life moving forward. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, and more than anything, share our content with people that you know so that they can get some help too and hopefully achieve a life that they want to as well. Have a great day. See you next time.